All right. How's everybody doing? You guys all right? If you're in LA, are you okay? It is hot, man. It has been hot. Working all day today, sweating. Which brings me to the watch. Because I wanted to talk about this. I got the new, well, it's not new. It's been out for a while. It's new to me. It's the Seiko Landshark. I was looking for a second Seiko because as you know, I got the Turtle. And I love that watch. It's very cool. As I'm wearing it, I'm noticing it's losing a couple minutes a day. Or by the second day, it's losing a couple minutes. So I know you can send it to Seiko, and I want to do that. When I do it, I wanted another watch to wear. And you'll see at the end of this video, I'm into divers. You'll see why at the end. It's kind of a funny thing. So the Landshark, the neat thing about this is it has an internal rotating bezel that's operated right here that is a compass bezel. It's unidirectional. And it's called the Landshark because it has land navigation because of that, but it's obviously also a diver. I think it's 200. I've been doing that to you upside down. I apologize. Is that right? No, I was doing that right. So I think it's 200. Yep, 200 meter. 200 meters, and it is a Seiko. It's a Seiko 5. It's interesting, you know, adjusting the time on this and whatnot in the days was a little finicky for me. And it does not have a hack, and obviously doesn't have the, well, it does have the day date, and that's kind of nice. But it was, when I first got it and put it on, I was like, well, I don't know if I like it that much because it's a lot smaller. I'll compare it to the other Seiko. I have it here with me. And, you know, I don't know. But now that I've been wearing it, I like it. I'll show this to you up close and personal on a piece of wood over here. And I just wanted a nice, decent, relatively heavy-duty watch to wear while I'm working and living now that I'm back into the watch thing. And I also just wanted to quickly talk about my history with watches because I always had a watch as a kid. My dad would buy a new watch, he'd give me his old watch. And my dad eventually stumbled upon Seikos, and then that's all he wore. Matter of fact, I have to find his Seiko. He had a Seiko automatic, had a blue dial, it was stainless steel, a stainless steel bracelet, and I know that the crystal is very scratched up on it, and I cannot find it. As I've been looking for it, I've been finding a bunch of other watches in my apartment. Most of them are garbage, a couple quartz watches that I had the batteries switched out in. So, the thing about watches are, and again, I grew up wearing them as a kid. I never had like super great watches. When I went into the Marine Corps, I got the original, that heavy duty G-Shock. And I went through a couple G-Shocks, beat them up. They took a lot of abuse. And then, of course, building houses and everything else, I always wore watches. But what I didn't like, I don't like bands. And I tried bracelets, and I didn't like them when I was younger. I never really could get them to be adjusted right on my wrist. And the thing I didn't like about bands is you get a lot of sweat in here, and you ever do that thing during the day? You smell your wrist, you can smell that funk on your wrist from all that work and sweat and grime that builds up. So that's why I like the bracelet on the Seiko, and I'll probably get one for this. Let's put this on a piece of wood and keep talking. How's that sound? Uh-oh, look at this. Look at this. I'm going to try to get all pro like the real watch guys. This is my woodworking caliper here, but it does have millimeter at the top, or centimeters there. And yeah, this is your typical, you know, the case size on here. It's about 44.5, according to this. You can see that how much smaller this one here is. It's about a little over 42 on there. So just something to be aware of. You can see the size difference in them just looking at them. I just love this watch. I love this watch. I'm going to send this to Seiko to have it serviced and dialed in a little bit. And I don't know if I'm going to replace the bezel or the crystal, because the truth is I don't mind it being a little bit beat up. After thinking about it and overthinking it, you know, it's not all that important. Everybody has to talk about the wrist like what your wrist size is, it seems like, because, and I do understand it now as I've been watching more and more of these videos. I have a 7 5/8 inch wrist. Let's see if I can get this on here. Hang on. Another reason I don't like buckles. It's weird. This is a Seiko. It's got the Seiko wave there, tsunami wave there, and this is what it looks like on my wrist. Not bad. I actually kind of like it. It's not overpowering. The way you want to tell direction is you want to point your hour hand at the sun, and then halfway between your hour hand and 12 will be south here in the northern hemisphere. And so what you would do then is, let's just say that I'm pointing at the sun right now. You could take your little dial here. This is not easy to do while it's on the wrist. And I just want to talk about, you don't need this, by the way, right? This should be common sense for you guys, but I'll explain to you why it's nice to have it in a moment here. So if that hour hand is pointing at the sun right now, you would just arrange this here, and then, you know, that would be south, you got north and everything else. Why is this a nice thing to have? Well, if you're walking in the forest or out in the desert and you can see the sun, you don't have a compass, and you need to know where you're going, it's helpful. Again, you don't need the bezel telling you north, south, east, or west to do this hack. However, if you have a map and you know exactly where you want to go, you can lay your map out, you can orient the watch with the bezel correct to north and lay that out, orient your map correctly, and that's going to help you find exactly where you're trying to go. Now, it might not be 100% accurate, especially if you're in a daylight savings time area, but it's a nice thing to have, and it's just a neat little feature. You got the Seiko 5 on here. No marking here. You see a few little scratches on the back of this. I'm never going to pay retail, people. I'm always looking for used in good condition. Now, I don't want to go spending too much money on a whole bunch of watches. I'm not that guy, but I did just pull the trigger on a Willard reissue. And again, I got a really smoking hot deal. I paid nowhere near close to retail for it. It is used. It has a Jubilee bracelet as well as the rubber bracelet it comes on. When that gets here, I'll do a video on that. And that's going to be it for me for a while, unless I happen to get really lucky and stumble upon something. Now, I was talking to Chad yesterday. He's wearing a Rolex now. But he has some very classic watches, and his brother has some very desirable Rolexes that he wears daily and beats up. So I think we might even do a live video at Chad's house, and all of us working dudes will talk about our watches. One of the things I want to point out for me personally, I'm only interested in watches with a 4 o'clock crown. All right? That's all I'm interested in. 4 o'clock crown. The reason for that is when it's on the wrist and you're working, all right, and you bend your wrist, that's very comfortable. You don't have the crown digging into your hand when you're putting weight on your arm or whatever. Again, it's a 7 5/8 inch wrist. Seiko Turtle 773. Blue face, blue bezel. This is a very comfortable watch, especially for a watch that's so large, you know. But again, not overpowering. And it's pretty amazing because most of the people that are doing videos on this have smaller wrists. You know, they're at 6.5, maybe 7 inch. I think one guy I was watching was 7.25, and it looks great on them. So it's fine on me. But this will be like an everyday for now, and I may try to find a bracelet for this one. So I think I paid $215 for this. That was the best price I could find on them. I don't know how great that is, but it seemed good to me. Really good details. I love the framing of the day-date window. The loom is pretty nice. Maybe I'll do a loom shot for you here in a moment. Bezel's good. It is, actually that's working pretty nice right there. It's not as easy as this one as far as the friction, like with your fingertips to turn it. Both do require a little effort, but it does line up perfectly. Both of them do, but they are both also, you will see here, this is a Japan watch, which to me is important. I'm only interested in Seikos that are made in Japan. That's just me. Call me a snob. Now hang on. Let's see if we can get you some loom. So it's not pitch black here. As you can see, it's hard for me to do that for you. I'm in a shop. But that's pretty nice. Anyhow, I'm not trying to be Joe Watch Channel guy. You guys know that. I'm just a blue-collar dude who appreciates a heavy-duty watch. And I like divers in particular because they're made tough, man. You know, I do some surfing when I can get out there. I haven't been doing it enough, but I need to. And I do beat on stuff, so I just need something that can handle it. I mean, the truth is, all I really needed was this watch here. But like I said, I want to have it serviced. It's going to be worth it to me to do that. Get that dialed in. And I've got this one here that I don't have to care too much about. And if I'm out hiking and whatnot, this is a good watch. And then that Willard is going to be something special. And if I can get a deal on used watches that are in very good condition, I will continue to pick them up. Why wouldn't I? I don't think that this Landshark is something that's anything super special. And like I said, I can't talk to these movements. I'm not that much of an expert. I know that the new Willard that's coming has like something like 71 hours of reserve. I believe this one here has something like 41 hours of reserve. I am not sure about the Landshark. I don't know that I've seen many videos on this, and maybe it's not worth it to people to do videos on this. And just so you know, I did buy 3 watches, the Mumbai specials. They're coming, supposedly. It was before I knew enough. And boy, did I learn a lot. All 3 of them have Seiko movements, according to the pictures, and they have see-through glass on the backside so you could see them. So I figure for what I paid, which wasn't a lot, if I'm getting Seiko movements, it's not bad. One of them has a much nicer movement than the others, just at least as far as visually. And it has I think it said Marine Master dial on it. And it had like that Mercedes shape in the hour hand. And it's a black dial, and it looks very vintage. And I'm thinking if that is a good Seiko, they're all 4 o'clock crown positions. And if that is a good, decent Seiko movement that's working fine, I think I want to build a bronze diver with it, with that dial and that Seiko movement in there. And so I'll do a watch build. It's just something I want to do just for fun. So some of you guys might dig on it. It'll be cool. It'll be fun for me. And I kept thinking, like, gee whiz, I can't afford the tools. And then I went on Amazon, and everything you need costs less than $30. The press for the crystal and everything. So I might just go ahead and really just do all that on my own. I don't know. We'll see. I know the one watch place by me, they're super nice guys, but the only issue is it could take them a couple months to get to it because they're so busy. And let's face it, we're kind of impatient. If we get one of these and we want to mod it, we want to get it done. We want it now, you know. Anyhow, you guys have a good day. I know watch people might give me a little grief for this video. I don't even know if the glass is clean. We'll see how it goes. I'll catch you guys in the next one.